That's it. Title is gone. Congratulations to Liverpool. Arsenal took themselves out of the title race this weekend. Out of ideas, out of players, out of the title race. Losing to West Ham 1-0 at the Emirates. And guys, this was coming. It was definitely coming. It's not even about one game, right? It's about pure arrogance from the club, from Arteta, to think that they could just wing it to the end of the season without reinforcing the squad. And now we're finished, right? We've got 12 games to go. I am not even sure we can win half of those games. That's how bad it is. Listen, anyone that watched that Leicester and watched the West Ham game should be really, really concerned about the next couple of games. We play Nottingham Forest, right? And that game is looking like we are going to be playing Real Madrid. I mean, what are you going to do without a center forward? For me, let's talk about this. This has got to be Mikel Arteta's biggest managerial failure. And this was the year to take the league. It really was. And we threw it away. So let's talk about why we might not get a chance like this for years. Okay, guys, let's rewind. Arsenal were flying, were real contenders to Liverpool, and then Bukayo Saka went down. And what did we do? Nothing. No replacement, no reinforcement, just vibes. We went into the hardest stretch of our season thinking, yeah, we've got this. And then what happens? Jesus gets injured, Martinelli gets injured, Havertz get injured, and now we are playing Trossard, a defensive midfielder in Merino as a striker, and then a 17-year-old Waneri to carry us through. Does anyone think that Manchester City would ever let that happen? Just think about it. Because sometimes it's good to kind of think about what you think your opposition would do. Is there another team that would allow what has happened to Arsenal happen to them? Pep would have signed two players for one injury. And he did that. Even Pep knew if Haaland ever got injured, they'll be screwed. And today's game, Haaland didn't play, right? But that Marmoush looks like a player that is capable of scoring goals. Slot knows that Salah is the difference, right? There is no way that Slot would have allowed Salah, Jota, Nunes, Diaz to be injured. And then you'll be like, no, 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 we've got this. We've got this. What did Arsenal do? We sat on our hands and we acted like we had the squad depth deep enough to compete. And now the reality is here. It is. I think for me, this is Arteta's biggest failure, honestly. And you have to say, this is on Arteta. I love what he's built. I wasn't necessarily his biggest fan, but I came around. And for me, the lack of urgency in January was criminal. It was. You're fighting with Liverpool, and there was a chance because Liverpool had a bit of a wobble. There was a chance for you to march on them, but you didn't. Instead of strengthening, you sat back and you thought the squad is good enough. This isn't a one-off, guys. It's not. It's consecutive season where we've collapsed when it mattered. Last year we ran out of legs in the title race. This year we ran out of players. And next year, City and Liverpool are going to strengthen. They're going to be stronger. Chelsea is going to improve. Spurs are going to improve. And do we really think that we would have the same opportunity like we have right now? Guys, the thing that is really concerning me is actually the title window is closing. It is closing for Arsenal. Let's be honest. This was the year, right? This was the chance. City off their best. Liverpool were in transition. They just had Klopp, who arguably, if you talk to Liverpool fans, probably the greatest manager they've ever had, right? Some people will say Kenny Dalglish and all of that, but Klopp is right up there. United are in a mess. Chelsea are still figuring things out. They don't know what they're doing. And yet, instead of seizing the moment, we just threw it away. We're not going to win the title this season. So when are we going to win it? Next year, when City will reload with another 200 million squad refresh. Next year, when Liverpool will have another transfer window under slot. He didn't buy anybody this year. He didn't need to. Next year, when United might put their act together, because United are going to be a difficult team once Ruben Amorim gets going. This was the year. Arsenal let it slip their finger. So, guys, let's be constructive because I'm not just here to rant. I want solutions, right? We all do. What should Arsenal have done? Sign a proper goal thread in January. Really. I don't think you need a genius, to say that to you. You needed someone that can put the ball in the back of the net. I hear people talk about it all the time, including the manager. To put the ball in the back of the net is the hardest thing in football. And we know that that's the hardest thing in football. And what did we do? We wanted a defensive midfielder to go ahead and go on a run and score like 10 goals. That was not never going to happen. And teams have started working out Arsenal's corners, right? The first corner is everything for teams, right? If they survive the first corner, it gives them confidence. Then they get confidence built on themselves, and now they figure out what Arsenal is doing, right? Look at Liverpool. I watched the Liverpool game today. They had a corner routine, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. No one saw that one coming, right? We should have also brought a backup winger. I hear what you're saying. Waneri has come up, but to expect a 17-year-old player to do all the things that we wanted him to do and take Arsenal to the title, that would have been one of the greatest thing ever, but very, very unrealistic and very naive, right? There had to be more urgency in squad planning. There had to be. I think you look at this season and you say, yes, you're unfortunate with injury, but were you unfortunate with injury? I was speaking to some friends, and I go back and forth with them because, sometimes, you like to look at trend. This season was going to be our injury season. And if you didn't know that in December, you're being very incompetent at your job in Arsenal. We started the season with Merino injured. Then every single month, all the way to December, we had a key player get injured every single month. Odegaard, I believe it was October. Ben White, I think it was November. We had Tomiyasu as well. Then December, we went in, we had Saka. Then you then had, as soon as Saka went down, that was it, really. Now you're thinking, I don't really have depth. I need to bring someone to support. And you're thinking about the future, right? And that's great. People are talking about, well, we want to buy in the summer and all of that. And I mean, listen, we had a good goalkeeper and we still bought another one in. So I don't want anybody to be telling me about thinking about the future and all of that and thinking about what's going to happen with players because we've done it before, right? And there was a chance this season if we had just bought a player to come in. Kudos. I did a video the other day back in the January transfer window when I was saying, go and take a look at him. He ran us ragged in that game. Ran us ragged. What do you think the likes of Hudson Odoi is going to do? Or Morgan Gibbs White is going to do? These are players that almost nicked the point from Newcastle when they were 4 goals down, right? So I'm not confident about us winning against Nottingham Forest. Let's just be honest. I'm not confident. And then we've got United, we've got Fulham, we've got Chelsea. These are all very, very difficult teams. These are teams that we dropped points to last season. So for me, this is on Arteta. Is it on the board? It's Arteta for me. He controls the squad. He's the one who would have said we had enough. And now he's going to have nightmares about this season because the regret will eat him alive. I mean, if I'm the coach, this season is gonna haunt me. It's gonna haunt me. Goodness, tell me, who do you blame? What do you think? Is it fair for us as fans to have to suffer this kind of mediocrity from the club? I'm not always overly critical with my conversation about Arsenal. You know me. But I think as a fan, it's not always about just looking at the positives every time. Sometimes we have to be hard on ourselves. It's what makes us humans, what makes us progress. You cannot be in denial and expect to move forward. And I think Arsenal were in denial. They need to look at themselves in the mirror. They need to realize that this was an opportunity that they threw away. And for how long? Three title chases, no title won. Guys, drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk. That's it for me. I'm done. I need a break. Arsenal better wake up because this might have been our last chance for a while. I'm fuming.